Good morning. It's Tuesday, May 19th. It's our second day of our cross country preseason training program. We'll start here with a dynamic warm up. Get your legs ready. It's about a 4-minute warm up led by a guy who ran a whole marathon in 2 hours and 36 minutes. That's pretty impressive. And then after that, we'll get into our main set. So here you go.
4-minute warm up routine. Let's go. Hi everybody, my name is Ben Parks, 236 marathoner and ultra runner. So what I want to show you today is the warm-up routine that I do before every single run that I go on. Whether that's race day for the marathon, whether I'm going to the track for a session, or whether I'm just doing a little 10K in the park, where I am now. So really, really important to get this sort of routine built into all of those runs you do. It helps get the blood flowing in your legs, it helps increase that mobility, which is really important for injury prevention. If we're going off stepping off whatever pace on cold muscles, you're really setting yourself up for potentially getting injured there. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here is my routine. Point number one. So the first thing I do is really super easy little jog. So you're talking about 60 to 90 seconds, literally as slow as you can go. It just gets your body into moving in the right sort of way. So super simple, super easy, don't go very fast, 60 to 90 seconds, little warm-up jog. Number two. So this is what I call opening and closing the gate. Really good to increase your hip mobility, increase that sort of range of motion in your stride, and just sort of stride length as well, which helps propel yourself down the road that little bit further. So how you want to start? I'll do this towards the camera to start with. So out, leg to sort of parallel with the floor and then back down, and moving forward at the same time. So all the way round, parallel the floor, back down. All the way out, parallel the floor, back down. You want to do this probably, just as much space as you've got, but probably about sort of 10 to 15 on each side. And I'll show you that from another angle. So that is closing the gate. Close, sort of like closing a gate as that comes back around. So on top of that, just afterwards, we then want to do what we call opening the gate, which is very, very similar, just the other way around. So demonstrating that at this angle, we just drive the leg forward and then around and down. Drive the leg forward, around, again keeping that nice and parallel to the ground, back down. Forward, around, back down. Forward, around, back down. And I'll show you that from the other angle. So moving on to number three. So this is what I just call leg swings. You've probably seen a lot of sort of track athletes do this. It's really sort of popular before people do their track warm-ups. So two different ways of doing this. The first one, and it's normally easy to hold on to something doing this, so some railings or a tree or another person by you. I haven't got anything, so I'm going to try and balance. From this angle, just straight forward, just swinging that leg backwards and forwards. Now what this is going to do is really help engage your glutes, get them nice and fired up and warmed up, which are really important for that sort of stability when running. And then after about sort of 10 or so on that side, change over to your other side, and just get that other leg going. Gets the hamstrings nice and warmed up as well. There we go. So just after that one, you want to do it the other way, so side to side basically. This is a little bit harder to do standing here, but you're just putting that leg across and then swing it out. So across and swing it out. And you want to do about 10 of those on each side and then switch around and do that on the other leg there. So moving on to number 4, which is walking lunges. And this is really, really important warm-up exercise, and not just important as a warm-up exercise, but you can be doing this at home as part of your strength training routine. So what this is going to be doing is activating your glutes. It's going to be opening up your hips as well, and really helping to improve that stride length, which is what is so important in running. The further you can propel yourself down the road with every step, the less steps you have to take, the quicker you get to the finish line, basically. So what does that look like in practice? Well, here's a quick demonstration. So what you want to be doing, find an area, probably about 10 to 15 meters or so, and yeah, just make sure it's nice and flat with nothing really in the way. And what you want to be doing is striding out. Keep your your core nice and engaged and straight. Then you're trying to get this knee onto the floor, and as you look over this knee, you want to be just seeing the end of your shoe. You don't want to be sort of going too far here and collapsing. Keep it nice and engaged in your core, and then back up. Stride forward. Again, this knee, back knee, touching the floor. Make sure you can see just the front of your shoe, and keeping your core nice and engaged. And you want to be doing that as a repetition, probably about sort of 8, 9, 10 sets of that, and then change around and come back the other way. So moving on to number 5. So this is going to be butt kicks. So what we're trying to do now is trying to raise the heart rate to get ourselves ready for running. So a little bit more cardiovascular stuff coming in now, and also trying to sort of replicate some of the movements that you see in a running stride. A little bit extreme, but yeah, we're just trying to get our bodies to moving in that sort of way that we do when we run. Important point here to think about with technique is that so many people, when they do this, they're sort of stretching out and trying to kick out like this in sort of this sort of motion. That's really wrong, and it's not something you're going to be doing when you're going to be running. What you want to be visualizing is having that sort of ankle and knee coming up and touching your bum in that sort of way as we go. So I'll show you that in sort of a forward motion this way. And then back again. So number 6, which is going to be our final warm-up exercise, what we're going to do is high knees. Now, there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can do this sort of standing on the spot, or you can do this going forward. So what you want to be really concentrating on here is not all about your knees, it's also about your arms as well. So if we're going to be doing some standing on the spot, it's driving those knees nice and high, a little bit above parallel basically here, but don't be one of those people that's going out like this, because you really want to start engaging your arms, your elbow and your shoulder as well, to be driving that forward with the alternate leg basically. So how that's going to look in practice. And also, if you've got a little bit of extra space, you can do that by moving along as well. So there we go, guys. That's 6 of the warm-up exercises you can build into any type of run that you're going to be doing. It's so important to get these before, to get these in before that run that you do. Please don't sort of skimp on it, because you could potentially setting yourselves up for injury, and it just gets your body nice and warmed up for what you're about to do. Focus on the technique. If it's a lovely warm day like it is here in London today, then fine to do this outside just before you head out. If you're in the middle of winter or you live in a bit of a colder climate country, again, you can do these just sort of inside before you go out, just to get your body nice and warmed up. So thanks very much for following along, guys. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up below, like it and subscribe, and yeah, there'll be more videos coming along shortly.
Okay, so now that you're warm up, 30 minutes of effort, jogging as much as you can, perhaps even a little bit of running, and maybe it'll feel a little bit better than it felt yesterday. Maybe you're a little bit stiff. Hopefully that dynamic warm up helped you loosen up a little bit, but 30 minutes of effort, and After you're done, come back to this video and follow the stretching. So 30 minutes, 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back. If you have a loop in your neighborhood, that's great. And again, at a conversational pace today. And then when you're done, come back here and stretch.
This video will guide you through some stretches to target the muscle groups commonly tight and overworked if you run frequently. That being said, everyone's muscle imbalances and bodies are different, so this quick guided stretch is far from comprehensive. Ideally, you should spend some time foam rolling your problem areas before doing these static stretches. We'll hold each one for about 30 seconds. We'll start with a stretch for the calves. Stand facing the wall and extend one leg back as if you were getting into a high lunge position. Keep the back leg straight and the heel flat on the floor with the toes pointing forward. Lean forward, pressing your hands against the wall. Make sure your quads and glutes are activated so that the back knee stays fully extended. This will help deepen the stretch to the calf. We'll be here for 30 seconds. All right, let's do the same stretch on the other side. Again, about 30 seconds here. This stretching routine has a bit of a flow to it. We'll start with some standing stretches where we are now and make our way to the floor, ending on our backs. That being said, I am by no means a yoga instructor, so any fluidity from stretch to stretch is more for logistics than an attempt at teaching vinyasa. Next up, we'll target the hamstrings and IT band with a forward fold variation. Come to standing and reach your arms up overhead and then fold forward, fingertips towards the floor or your shins, depending on your flexibility. From here, you're going to cross your left foot over your right. Your IT band runs from your outer hip to below your outer knee, and this stretch hits the hamstrings where they meet the IT band. You might feel that outer area of your back leg light up immediately when you fold forward with this cross position. If you don't and you want to get a little deeper, try walking your hands over towards the left. If your hands are off to the side, let's start walking them back to center. Once you're there, everyone uncross your feet, and we're going to slowly roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. As you do, I want you to sweep your arms up overhead, and then we're going to slowly fold forward again. Fingertips come to the floor, or maybe just your shins. Once you're back in this forward fold, we're going to take our left foot and step it behind the right this time. Same stretch, but on the other side. Again, you might feel it right here, staying in center. Or if you want to get a little deeper into it, you're going to just walk your fingertips over towards the right. If your hands are off to the side, let's walk them back to center. Uncross your legs, and then slowly roll up again, sweeping your arms up overhead, deep breath in, and then just release the arms. We're going to take it into our next stretch, which is going to be a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So you're going to find a lunge position, gently place your back knee down on the floor and untuck your toes. Once you find that deep opening through the hips, I want you to squeeze your back butt cheek so that the glutes are engaged. You can stay here with your hands on your thigh, or if you want to ramp it up a notch, sweep your arms up overhead, maybe even coming into a tiny back bend. I think this feels amazing. You can stay here, or again, go back to that starting position, hands on your front thigh. Now that we've held the pose statically for 30 seconds, let's tuck our back toes and take this to an active stretch. You can keep your hands down or sweep them overhead, and then I just want you to lift that back knee, stretching the back leg, and then lower it down, tap it to the floor. 2 more times. Lift the back knee, straighten that back leg, lower, tap the knee to the floor. Last time, lift it up, stretch, and gently lower back down. Bring your hands to the floor and let's step back into a plank position. We are going to take the same kneeling runner's lunge over to the other side. So step your other foot forward, carefully drop that back knee, untuck the toes, and find that place where you feel a deep opening through the hips. Once you find it, once again, squeeze that back butt cheek for me. You can keep your hands on your thigh, or if you want to intensify the stretch, let's sweep them up overhead, tiny back bend. You can stay here, or if it gets to be uncomfortable, again, just bring your hands back down onto your thigh. Let's once again take it to that active stretch. Tuck your back toes, arms can come overhead, lift the back knee, straightening out the back leg. Pause, and then lower down, tap the knee to the floor. Again, lift, straighten the back leg, lower, tap knee to floor. One last time, lift the back leg, lower down, tap knee to floor, sweep your hands to the ground, and we're going to step back into plank one more time. Let's continue working on the hips with pigeon. You're going to bring your right knee forward, and then the right ankle kind of scoots behind the left wrist. Keep the foot flexed and lay your shin down on the ground. From here, kind of scoot your back toes behind you, really stretching out that back leg. Fold forward. I like to rest my head on my hands or a yoga block, and then you want to try to get your hips level. So if you're like me and have tight hips and there's a bit of space between your butt and the floor in this position, to get your hips level, you might want to put a towel or even a yoga block underneath your bum. I'll frequently do that. All right, let's slowly make our way upright onto our hands and then step back into plank. We're going to take this pigeon over to the other side. Once again, we'll be here for about 30 seconds, and if you need to use any props to help you out, like a blanket or a yoga block, do so. Next up, we're going to make our way onto our backs for a figure 4 variation. This is one of my favorite stretches. So, as gracefully as you can, make your way to a seated position, lay down, and we're going to cross our right ankle over the left kneecap in a figure 4. From here, wrap your hands around your left thigh and gently pull everything in towards your chest. We're going to stay here for just a few seconds, and then we're going to drop this whole shape over to the side. All right, now spreading your arms out to the sides, we're going to drop this whole shape with our lower body over to the left until your right foot plants flat on the floor. Try to keep your shoulders down as you go into this twist. If you don't feel this stretch, try scooting your left knee up towards your head a little bit. So you just kind of move everything up. So we're getting back into the IT band with this one, but it also is great for stretching out your back and shoulders. We're going to stay here for about 30 seconds, but I could seriously stay in this one all day. It's one of my favorites. All right, let's take things back to center. Uncross your legs, stretch the legs out straight towards the ceiling, and then we're just going to take the same stretches over to the other side. So now your left ankle is going to cross over the right kneecap. You're going to weave your hands around your right thigh, tugging them in gently towards your chest, and we're going to go into that figure 4 glute stretch. Now that we've spent a few seconds here, let's take this shape over to the side. So again, you just twist down until that left foot plants firmly on the floor. If you need to get a little deeper, you're going to move the whole shape up towards your head. So just kind of pull the right knee up towards you. And if you need a little less, just kind of scoot it downward. And that's going to make it feel a little more gentle. Again, you want to try to keep your shoulder blades down on the floor as you do this, which if you're tight like me, can be easier said than done. All right, let's make our way out of this twist. Once again, uncross the legs, reach them up towards the ceiling, give them a little wiggle, and let's take one final stretch just to bring everything back to center. And it's going to be happy baby. So bending your knees out wide, reach your hands for the edges of your feet and just gently pull the knees down kind of towards your armpits. Sometimes it can feel good to gently rock in this position. And I'm now realizing that this is technically about 11 minutes of stretching, not 10 like promised. So if you want to bail early on your happy baby, I understand. One last breath in and out here. And you're going to release your feet, hug your knees in towards your chest, and then extend everything out on the floor. You are done. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did.
All right, now that you're all done and stretched out, here's something that I thought you might enjoy seeing for things that didn't go quite as well as they could have for runners.
In second place there, here he comes up to the barrier, seemingly. No, he's okay. No, it's all. That is very nasty. No, it's not Martin. It was Weidling of Austria. Hurry up! You're out of the way!
What numbers for the ride? Tanto vediamo lo scalzo. Ah, mamma mia!
No, questa poi no.
Pazzesco!
Рекорд соревнований, и у Асафа очень хороший будет результат. Ну, девушка, ты же с ума сошла?
Ganz unter dem Eindruck dieses Rennens offenbar, als sie die Anlaufbahn von Kofi Amor-Bra im Weitsprung kreuzte. Ja, da schreit man, pass auf, aber sie weiß nicht, wohin sie hingucken soll. Oh, das sah bös aus. Kofi Amor-Bra nahm Anlauf zu seinem 4. Versuch, aber ich kann Sie beruhigen, liebe Zuschauer, beide sind wohl auf. Der deutsche Weitspringer setzte seinen Wettbewerb fort und auch
All right, post your mileage in the reminder. I'll make another collage this evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.